following presentation is on Germany by Leah Martin, Christina Gossett, Kevin Hayden, and Kenzie Schneider. I will be presenting first, giving information on German etiquettes and German rules. German greeting etiquettes. Do not hug a person when first meeting them. Keep direct eye contact. It is a sign of respect to the eldest member of the family. Be at least arm's length away. No touching. That is a sign of disrespect. Germans hate touching. Do not address them by their first name, rather their last. For example, you would look at me and say, Mrs. Gossett. Do not ask about personal problems, salary, or age. Dining etiquettes. Eating with a fork, knife, and spoon is mandatory, no matter the meal. Keeping your hands above the table with no elbows on the table is a sign of respect. Keeping a hand on your lap while you eat is a sign of disrespect to the hostess. And you can only eat after the hostess says bon appetit, which is like praying like we would in the United States. Guest etiquette. Do not be late to a dinner that you were invited to unless you call ahead of time. Usually 5 to 10 minutes is mandatory. White chrysanthemums, carnations, and lilies are considered funeral flowers, so do not bring them to dinner as a gift. Red roses are considered romantic, so only bring red roses if you are having a romantic meal. Finishing your plate is a sign of respect to the hostess, and it shows that you enjoyed the meal. Business etiquette. Being late is rude, as well as skipping a planned business meeting. But, as above, if you are going to be late, calling ahead of time is mandatory. Businessmen do not like idle talk, so no salary, age, or anything of that sort when talking to them. Being impatient is impolite. Dressing etiquette. For a business meeting, you are required to wear formal attire, so that could include dresses for women, skirts for women, and blouses. For men, that would probably include suits. Women are expected to wear delicate jewelry, so this would be necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings, everything of that sort. And you're not supposed to have them cheap either. You're supposed to get them custom made so that way you look elegant no matter where you go. You're supposed to keep your shoes shined and clean. No dirt can be shown. That's a sign of laziness. Shopping etiquette. Credit cards are rarely used and there's no shopping on Sunday. There are a few malls in Germany that will let you use a credit card, but cash is normally accepted. Beliefs. Many of the Germans living in Germany are of the Christianity religion. They have the same beliefs and proper ways of doing things as we do in the United States, as Christianity is our religion as well. Other German etiquettes continued. Do not walk across the street on a red light. You will, and this is a promise, get hit by a car. They have no reason to stop for you because it is on a red. Staring back at someone is offensive. So if someone's looking at you through like binoculars or something, you don't stare back. Using fancy English that they don't understand is impolite, just as them using fancy German words to us is impolite. And for men, do not urinate standing up. Children in Germany are taught from a young age to urinate sitting down, to be more mature, to grow up more mature. Things to never do in Germany. Shout the Nazi salute or raise your hand to the Hitler greeting. Germans find this extremely offensive because they have tried for years and years and years to show that they are not part of the Nazi Germany anymore. They do not affiliate with any Hitler propaganda. And they are doing everything they can to make sure that that is not legal. If you do end up doing this in Germany, you'll be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison.
Mr. Meyer to the office.
Another thing never to do in Germany is throw plastic bottles away. They see it as disrespectful as you can get 10 cents from them. Do not walk in the bicycle lane or chew gum. Those are two very big things in Germany because they don't see it as appropriate. Do not place in pocket while talking or eating. It is a sign that you are uninterested in the event going on, and the talker or the communicator or the hostess will be completely disrespected. And finally, to conclude my presentation, you are not allowed to be drunk in public. This is a huge sign of immortality and disrespect. There's nothing more awful than seeing someone drunk and puking on the side of the road.
Germans differ quite a bit from the American people. Germans are very direct and never misleading. This is because Germans tend to be goal-oriented in their interactions, trying to get straight to the point rather than make small talk or chit-chat. Germans put truth before diplomacy, believing that personal emotions should not sway the truth from being spoken. Germans are very punctual. Being on time or even early is a sign of respect. The Germans are so keen on time that they set everything down to the minute, such as bus routes, meetings, dates, classes, etc. So keep in mind, if ever visiting Germany, to stay on time, as it is a sign of disrespect to show up late, keeping them waiting. We will also talk about German attitude and how the past has shaped today's attitude of the German people. The past has played a large role in the Germans' attitude today, all from religion to personal beliefs. In the past, their attitudes were a lot stronger than they are today, changing drastically since the fall of Nazi Germany. Germans' beliefs were so strong that the country divided itself in 1961 by the Berlin Wall as a way to slow the people's progress in building a socialist state. But as of 1989, it was torn down, and the people decided to become whole again, or as one, making one society in Germany and bringing peace to the land. Also, we have the artifacts. Germany is a rich culture with lots of impressive artifacts, Nazi Germany being one that contributed a lot to their history. Germany's history of artifacts have contributed largely to the world's history and today's technology. Germany's history is rich with cultural and religious artifacts stemming from many different eras in their culture, a lot coming from the Nazi era. The Nazis spent a lot of time and money searching for artifacts to display proudly to represent their great country. While their crimes were known to be heinous in obtaining these relics around the world, it didn't sway from creating an amazing collection of brilliant artifacts. Most of these artifacts now can be seen in several museums around the world, but if you do plan on visiting Germany, I suggest visiting the Topography of Terror, which is an outdoor museum housing a direct insight to the Germans' history of the Nazi era, also of which house most of the country's artifacts originating from the Nazi era. If the Nazi era isn't your cup of tea, you can visit the Pergamon Museum or the Neues Museum, which both hold some of the most amazing artifacts pre-Nazi and post-Nazi era that Germany's history can provide, including but not limited to the Wilhelmine era, the Weimar Republic era, and the present Federal Republic of Germany.
Hey guys, I'm going to be talking to you about some different symbols that represent Germany and some heroes that represent Germany also. Start with the heroes. One hero of Germany is Hermann, or also known as Arminius, the German Prince. He served for the Roman army, although he was still German at heart. He loved his country very much. So he later switched sides and fought the Romans to regain Germany. He was successful and he did defeat them. Many people were jealous of him and his greatness. He was admired by many people, but also was not liked by a lot of people. And in 21 AD, he was murdered by some people that were just not a fan of him. Today, many people still see Arminius as the savior of their country, and they still talk about him and praise him. some symbols I'm going to be talking about are the national animal, the flag, the coat of arms, and the national anthem. The national bird is the eagle, and the eagles are known as the birds of the sky. They have been on the coat of arms for Germany for about 800 years. The eagle was chosen by the Germans because it resembled the god Odin. The flag, as you can see a picture right there, is black, red, and yellow. The flag dates back to medieval times when they needed bright colors for their soldiers' helmets or shields, and that helped with identification of who was pretty much coming at them. And the flag was not actually used until about 1918. Some more German symbols are the coats of armor, or the coats of arms. The Holy Roman Empire had a banner with an eagle, and it had a red beak and claws and then the yellow background, as you can see right there. With a large German population within the Holy Roman Empire, they did defeat the empire, and the eagle became their coat of arms. So after they defeated the empire, they did choose the eagle for their coat of arms. The design, which is still used to this day, was presented in 1928, but was restored in 1948 as a symbol of the German history and traditions. And then one last one is the national anthem. Germany's national anthem was taken from the third stanza of a poem by August Heinrich Hoffmann von Fallersleben in 1841. In 1951, it was sung as the national anthem, but in 1991, it was decided that it would officially become the German national anthem. So they used to sing it, but it wasn't officially the national anthem until 1991. You guys enjoy?
Have you ever wondered what different ghost stories, fairy tales, or traditions they have in Germany? They may not celebrate Halloween, but they do have many stories floating around. In fact, according to biography.com, the Grimm brothers were born in Germany. They are authors of many different fairy tales and folklore. They are so famous and important to Germany that they dedicated a museum to them. I used to work in cleaning apartments for the auto show workers who came to Detroit from Germany, and I always noticed their different food and clothes and their language. It made me wonder more about their way of life. They have many different stories and rituals. I'm Leah Martin, and today I'm going to share some of these stories and rituals with you. So, like I said, the Grimm brothers are from Germany. They have stories that you may know, like Hansel and Gretel, Rapunzel, The Elves and the Shoemaker, Rumpelstiltskin, Frog Prince, Seven Dwarfs. Some of the stories that I'm going to tell you are more ghost stories, according to Fluent.com. The first story I'm going to tell you is about a nun named Maria Venata Seiger von Mosel. She was a nun who sold her soul as a child to the devil secretly, and no one knew. And when she was in the convent, she poisoned the other nuns, and she would dress up as the devil, and the nuns would think that they were having visions of the devil, telling them that he was coming to take over and coming after them. When they found out that she was poisoning them and lying, she was beheaded for witchcraftery. Supposedly it's a true story. Also, the next story is the Pied Piper, which some of us may know, or the Rat Catcher. He was hired to lure rats from the town to free them of sickness, because the rats brought sickness to the town. So with his music, he lured the rats away. But when the mayor refused to pay him, he decided to take revenge by luring all the children out of the town, and he lured them to the sea to drown. That was supposed to be based on a true story, too, of when a bunch of children disappeared. The last story I'm going to tell you about is called King Watzmann and his family. They loved to hunt and kill local peasants. When they slaughtered an entire family, they were supposedly cursed and turned to stone. People believe that they are stuck in the mountains of Berchtesgaden, and each member is trapped inside a different hill. Now I'm going to tell you about some of the different rituals that Germany has. So, for weddings, they have a thing called Polterbend, where all of the bride and groom's family get together the night before, and they break dishes and plates and have food and drink, and then the bride and groom have to clean it up the night before their wedding. They have a ritual called Kidnap the Bride, where the groom takes, or the best man takes the bride, and they go to a bar, and the groom has to find out which bar they are, and when he gets there, he has to pay their tab of whatever they have already drank. For their wedding bands, they do simple wedding bands, no diamonds, and they wear them on the left hand, or the right hand instead of the left hand. When people throw the rice, whatever is left in the bride's hair after the rice is thrown is supposed to symbolize how many children they will have. After the wedding, everyone gets in their cars, and they do a procession where they all follow each other through the town honking their horns. And sometimes people will honk back. It's like a wish of good luck for the bride and the groom. For the wedding night, a weird ritual is the family and friends of the bride and groom try to make this first night difficult for them, so they might fill the whole room with balloons or take apart their bed or set alarm clocks to go off and hide them out throughout the house. It's kind of weird, but kind of funny. For the birthdays, on the 16th birthday, they pour flour over your head. On the 18th birthday, they crack eggs over your head. And on the 25th birthday, if you're unmarried, the guys follow a string of socks from their house to the party, and the girls follow a string of cigarette cartons from their house to the party. Another cool ritual that they have is called the wedding tree. When newborn girls are born, they plant trees, and when she gets engaged, they sell the trees and use them to pay her dowry. And the dowry is basically the bride's family putting money into the groom's family, so that way they can say that all their money together is not just the groom's money. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to talk about will be the holidays. They celebrate a lot of the same holidays. Easter, the only difference is they have fires to symbolize light and warmth after the cold winters. They have a holiday called the Oktoberfest, which most people, it's a celebration of beer all over the world. But originally in 1810, it was a party to celebrate the marriage of Prince Ludwig and Princess Therese. People wore different traditional clothing. They listened to music, drank, and danced. They don't celebrate Halloween, but they do celebrate All Saints' Day, which is on November 1st, the day after Halloween. That's where everyone goes and visits the graves of their loved ones. For Christmas, they have a lot of same traditions, but Christmas to them lasts for 4 weeks. St. Nicholas comes on December 6th, and instead of stockings, they use boots or socks hung by the chimney to fill them with nuts, chocolate, or fruit. The rest of the holidays are spent visiting their families and friends. So, today, I hope that I taught you some of the interesting traditions and intriguing folklore, because they have many different stories and rituals. Some of them are the same and some of them are different. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our presentation about the unique culture Germany has. I hope today we intrigued you more about the German culture and what it is like to live there. If you ever think about visiting there, it might take you a little over 11 hours to get there, but it would be an awesome experience and a direct insight to the German culture.